Alright, it's time to talk about the build of this laptop. So that's a Dell XPS 159560, the 1080p model with a 512 gig SSD, 16 gigs of RAM, and a Core i7 77HQ. And I'm just going to take a quick rundown through what we have over here. So we have like a, not exactly a space gray, but somewhere between, you know, a cool silvery aluminum and a space gray coloring. It's definitely darker, it shows more fingerprints. It is thick. You can actually see that each piece of aluminum is kinda, if it focuses, I hope, kinda thick in there. And the same thing on the other side. And while I'm over there, I'm just going to do a quick rundown of the ports. We have our power adapter, a full-size USB, a Thunderbolt 3 port, and what is that over there? Oh, that was an HDMI, and that was a Thunderbolt port, and this is the headphone jack. And on the other side we have a full-size SD card reader, which works great, and we have a USB port. I've tested both of the USB ports, they work awesome. And here is the battery indicator. It's a bit hard to see that in daylight. And we also have another battery indicator over here. So when you do things like close a laptop and stuff like that, and well, it basically shows you if it's charging, and when it gets low on battery, that turns amber, which is a nice touch. And also the cable lights up. Actually, let me just show you that. So, as you can see, which is awesome, so we have pretty much light on every side of this. We have, the battery indicator, the, battery indicator over there when you're charging and when the battery is low, and also a, little light to find the cable, which is awesome. And we're also going to talk about the cable real quick. Check this out. It's completely unplugged and it stays on for a bit. That's kind of cool. So it is pretty thin and kind of light. It's not the lightest charger out there, but it is compact for this size laptop, and it is a 3-pronged adapter as well, so that's something you want to take into consideration, because you can't just plug this in on any extension cord. Let's get back into the carbon fiber. It is nice. It does show some smudges, but not as much as some reviewers talk about, so you can see with about 24 hours of use how many smudges you got on the thing. The bottom of it is pretty interesting, so let's talk about that for a second. The bottom of the laptop has these rubberized, like almost semicircular things that kind of keep the laptop high up off the table, so there's enough airflow going in. So the air intake is through these, and there's some exhaust through the middle, but most of the air is exhausted right over here. Next up, we're going to talk about the carbon fiber. It feels nice when you're typing. It is definitely a smoother and warmer feeling to an aluminum laptop like a MacBook Pro or a MacBook Air. And then the trackpad is very functional. It's really smooth. So it's smoother than a Apple trackpad, which makes it kind of hypersensitive. So that is something you have to get used to. And also the keyboard is kind of, mushy in texture as well. So it's not as good as a Mac, but it's definitely functional. So the trackpad is, really good, and the keyboard is really good. Definitely one of the best on the Windows side, but then again, not as good and clicky as a Mac, even though it has more of a key travel, with the Butterfly 2.0 keys on the Mac, and the large, gigantic trackpads on the MacBook Pro are definitely, cooler with all the haptic feedback and stuff. So, that's one thing they got that's better, but still completely functional. I don't like the NASCAR little Core i7 logo. I'm going to take that off soon. The webcam is potato-like. I'm actually just going to show you. So, this is what the webcam looks like. It's kind of awkward, and if you're looking at it, let's see if I can get a shot. If I'm looking at it straight on, my face is somewhere up there, and it's potato-ish in resolution. So it's definitely worse than a MacBook Pro or a MacBook Air for that matter. Resolution's not up there, but it's not terrible. Completely functional, but one of the disappointing things about this laptop, so if you video chat a lot, this isn't the best hardware for you, because, you know, I'm using the laptop right now, and all you can see is my chin. So this is the shot that I'm getting, just a direct, you know, upward look. And I kind of have to sit back, so if I'm like in a normal resting position, the top part of my head is cut off, which is kind of odd. I might do a screenshot of what it looks like, but potato-like quality and copping off the face is kind of cool, but that wasn't a factor for me because I don't use my webcam. So the first time I'm actually using it is for a video chat, and it won't be for long because I'm screen sharing with people from work. Next up, we're going to talk about the overall aesthetic of the laptop. Does it look as good as the 2016 MacBook Pro? And short answer is no, but for a Windows laptop, it looks pretty good. So in terms of, you know, Windows, ultra portable, kind of light, high performance laptops, this is as good as it gets. In terms of, you know, as good as the 2016 MacBook Pro, I would say no. The carbon fiber looks like plastic, to be honest. You know, unless you tell someone that that's carbon fiber and it's making the laptop lighter and it's more expensive than aluminum, no one's gonna know about it. So it doesn't look as good. Also, in terms of weight, it's kind of heavy as well. So this is 4.8 pounds. So this is actually heavier than last year's model because of the 97 watt-hour battery. I did a video on the battery life over here, so I'll just link that over there. Basically, I'm just going to start an entire playlist just of every single question I get asked, and I'm just going to make a video, watch through the playlist. Turn on your notifications once you subscribe to my YouTube channel to get an update on a question if you ask it, or if you just want updates on this laptop if you're considering buying it. I am impressed with the build quality so far, and technically speaking, if you're going for a Windows laptop, this is as good as it's gonna get. It's not that light. 4.8 pounds is kinda heavy, but this is as light as it gets for a high performance Windows laptop, and it is a little bit more powerful than a Mac as well, so getting a little bit better battery life, getting a little more performance. I think it will justify the slightly ugly and hefty design, and you also have that beautiful matte screen, which is pretty amazing because just using this a day, you know, it looks completely, you know, just using this like a day, it looks amazing. And you know, I've got bright lights over here and can't even kill it. So I've got two spotlights shining and it doesn't even really reflect that much. It just diffuses the light across it. So that's a testament to how good this matte screen is. I do not regret buying the full HD version over the 1080p version. It looks great. In terms of 4K from this distance at a 15-inch laptop, you can't even really tell the difference. There's a slight difference. In terms of screen brightness, this goes pretty low and it goes really bright. It's like almost too bright to use on full brightness. And even the lowest brightness setting could have been a bit lower because it's a bit too bright. So don't worry about getting the 4K one. You can just order the 1080p one because for me, I hardly touch my screen, even though it is a touch screen. For the laptops that we do have in this house that have touch screens. And also the added battery life is definitely is great to have with the full HD version. So like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me what other videos you want to see about this. You want me to, you know, do a little, you know, benchmark on it, test some weird game, run some specific software, you know, throw it off a building. Just tell me what you want me to do with this thing, and I'll most probably do a video. So like, comment, and subscribe, and also turn on your notifications just to get notified whenever I create another video on this thing, because I'm doing a whole playlist series on it. And oh, last little additional step is I really like the flap. This is kind of cool if I can open it. Oh, there we go. It's satisfying just to play with that. I don't know why. I might do a teardown of this if you want to see the inside, so stay tuned. Is there anything else I missed? Tell me if I missed something. Oh, yes, speakers. The speakers sound pretty good. About, 80 to 90% of what you'll get on the 2016 MacBook Pro. So if you're on it like this, on a table, on a hard surface, it sounds great, but the sound does degrade slightly if you're on a couch or if you have something, blocking them or something. The MacBook Pro's placement on either side is a lot better than having them at the bottom. Dell said, they couldn't do it because of the Infinity Edge display and they had to squish it down, but they probably could have, there's a lot of space over here. They even added a fingerprint model. They even added a fingerprint scanner on one of the models, so they probably could have shoved it in there. So these are my, 24-hour, impressions of it. So I will update this soon with my full review, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to put it through its paces. In terms of how loud this gets, not really that loud, not really that hot. So temperature is pretty low, even with high performance video editing and rendering. And in terms of how loud it is, it's pretty soft. Like with most tasks, the fans don't even kick in, and when it's booting and when you're video editing, it's not that loud. Like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to turn on your notification thing so you get notified whenever I throw out a new video on this thing.